your girl Muse X9 back with another video. Today I'm gonna be telling you guys how me and my boyfriend met. Yes, I said my boyfriend. Let's get right into the video. Yeah. Friends, and turn on the bell so y'all can be notified when I drop more videos, okay? But anyway, let's get into the
Bitch, what? Bitch, what?
And then one day I came across him or whatever, and I was like, okay, he's cute, so I left it alone. And then that following week I was like, okay, like, hey, he's really cute, like that's my type. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna shoot my shot. But at the time I was like, wait, like, don't do it, cause like, baby, like, no, just don't do it. So I was like, thank you, I'm gonna do it because me, I have a positive mind. So basically I was like, hey. And then y'all know, of course, y'all know back then when Kik was popping, hell yeah, we was texting on Kik. Yeah, we was texting on Kik. We were just cooling, bobbing, all that good shit. We was on Kik, not like, hey, texting, la la la, like, where you at, what you doing? And then I'm not gonna get into details about what we was talking about, okay? But yeah, we were just cooling, and then he stopped texting me. He just really stopped texting me. I was like, okay, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, do you not want to talk to me no more? So I just left it alone. And then one day I saw him in the hallway, and he looked at me, but then he looked away. So I was like, yeah, he don't like me no more. Like, cause he didn't look at me like I looked at him. So I was like, hey, he don't like me no more. Like, let's just let it go. Let's go find you somebody else. So eventually I did that or whatever. But he was like, y'all know how y'all got that boy who y'all always start back talking to? Yeah, it was like that with him. So we started back talking and shit. And then he did the same thing. He basically did the same thing over and over and over again. And little of me, I got sick and tired of it. So I was like, hey, you're not for me. Like, let's just stop talking. Like, hey, I'm just gonna move on with my life. I'm texting you, lose contact with you. Hey, bye. So basically, he went to a different school, whatever. And we basically lost contact. We lost contact for a whole year. I was so worried about him. Like, hey, even though that I didn't want anything to do with him, I was still worried about him. I was like, damn, like, where's he? Like, is he okay? Like, he was basically on my mind, like, every other month. Like, hey, where is he at? Like, I basically wish I could check up on him, but hey, I didn't have contact. So yeah, and then 2019, somehow he DM'd me on Instagram. He was like some I don't know why, I don't know what he said, I don't know what it was, but yeah, he asked for my number and I gave it to him. And then he called me and we just basically talked. We chopped it up. And then as a few days go by, we was on FaceTime like every day, every night. Yeah, we was on FaceTime, and he was basically telling me how he changed and stuff. Like, he not the person that he used to be. And little me, I'm like, hey, I can't believe that because like you did me wrong like a couple times. I was like, hey, you're not gonna finesse me. You're not gonna finesse me again. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Period. No. So, you know, little old me, I was like, hey, you know, everybody deserves a second chance. Like, hey, because, you know, back then, everybody had their little whole times. Everybody had their little times, you know, rough around the edges, da-da-da. So I was like, hey, you know what? I might just go ahead and give him another chance. Like, he probably did mature. You know, we older now. So I was like, okay. And we just started talking on the phone. Things got good. Although that we argue mostly every day, we argue about little things. Yes, little things. And that's because we both care about each other. But yeah, we just started talking, chopping, and then one day he asked to come over. He came over, and we just started talking. At first, I knew the vibe wasn't there with him. I can tell. I was like, hey. But then as he stayed for a couple more hours, you know, it started to build up. Like, our bond started to actually get somewhere. And I started to actually feel on him. I was like, Kaya, what if this the one for you? but y'all may never know. Like, he may never know that I'm the one for him. I don't know if that's the one for me. So, we just started talking or whatever, just asking each other, what was we doing the following year when we had lost contact. Then he left me, and then we just got on FaceTime again, and then he came over. Yep, and then he came over again, and again. And then the next time he came over, he actually met my mother. I decided to let him meet my mother because I was like, hey, I did know him for a couple years now. I'm like, hey, I might as well just let him meet my mother. I mean, like, he's not a bad person no more. I mean, he was never a bad person. It's just that the things he did wasn't, So eventually I got over the past and I was like, hey, you can meet my mother. So he met my mother and they actually have a good bond. And I thought that him and my mother wasn't really going to like him. But she actually liked him. She loved him. Like, that's crazy. Because they bond is like this. Well, like this. They gonna be like this, but they just like this. So, yeah, I let him meet my mother. And on his birthday, he had asked me out. We both came to a discussion that we both wanted to settle down. While we was going out, in my head, I was like, hey, don't you still give this boy your all? Because, like, what if he could throw that back in your face? So I was like, hey, we're just going to leave all that stuff that he did to me in the past. We're going to throw that out the window. Like, we're going to start over in a new path. So that's what I did or whatever. And, yeah, things just started going great. We started to actually feel each other more. And, yeah, that's basically how me and my boyfriend met. So, yes, we had reunited in 2019. I don't know the exact date, but it was in the beginning of January. We reunited on that day. And yeah, that's how I met my boyfriend.